Hello beautiful souls, and thank you for watching this video. If you don't know me, my name is Morgan. I am originally from France and I make videos about minimalism, veganism, low waste, anything that's really inspiring me and that I think would bring value into people's life. Today I was inspired to make this video after a conversation I have with a person who's very close to my heart at the moment. And basically that person asked me a couple of days ago, are you planning on gifting me something for Christmas? So at first I answered maybe, and then it actually triggered something in me, and I automatically replied, what is a gift anyway? What is a gift actually? What's your definition of a gift? And that person told me, took him a couple seconds, and then he answered, I think a gift is attention. And I think he really spotted right into the core of it. I think it was the purest and most relevant answer that someone could give. So that's why I actually have wrote down some notes about everything, that just that little word attention, what it inspired me, and especially regarding the Christmas period, the Christmas season and holiday season. So a gift is attention, and it truly captivated me and made sense because I've been growing on my minimalistic journey, and it helped me really to realize that Christmas at the moment is a very profit business orientated celebration, and that's why a lot of people feel the urge and the pressure of buying the perfect gift, finding the perfect gift for their friends, for their family. And I think that's putting a lot of pressure on people, and that's not what Christmas represents. That's not what Christmas embodies, and that's why we should just maybe take a step back and just meditate on this, reflect upon the true meaning of Christmas for us. So now Christmas is mostly about buying materialistic things, and I think that if, like my friend said, if Christmas and gifting should be about attention, when did we establish that we had to wait for Christmas in order to show people attention? Do we really have to put ourselves in this Christmas box and just wait for Christmas to show attention to people? So by thinking about finding the perfect gift for someone, I think we should ask ourselves a couple of questions first. So what do we actually expect when we buy someone a gift? What do we expect from the person we're going to give the gift to? What do we expect from ourselves by making that purchase? Do we expect something back from the person when we're actually giving something to that person? Or do we expect a validation of others on ourselves? Does it comfort us? Does it bring us more confidence when we have the validation of someone for the gift that we gave them? I hope this kind of makes sense. It's been quite hard, to put into words something that you feel, but that's what I'm trying to do here. So that's why, the reason why I think we should ask ourselves these questions is mostly because I think deeply that inherently, when we make a gift, when we gift someone something, it's mostly driven by the ego, because when we give something, we expect that validation, we expect the person to be pleased, and we expect that person to be to be enjoying the gift that we're gifting them, and we expect automatically a form of response. We expect a kind of a rewarding thank you, or just at least something, so that we feel reassured, and so that we feel comforted that we have made the right choice, so that we feel good about ourselves because we have picked the right gift, we have picked the perfect thing that would fulfill the needs of a person. So that's why it can, bring a lot of pressure on us to try and find the perfect gift. And I think where this actually this meets with another perspective, when it's the other way around, when we expect someone to gift us something for our birthday or for Christmas, we put a lot of pressure on that person's shoulders, and if that particular person doesn't gift us something, we will be disappointed at that person. We will we will be sad, because automatically when someone doesn't gift us something, we think that that person didn't have a thought for us. We think that that person doesn't care about us. We think that that person didn't take the time to show us attention, to show us love through the gifting of a gift. So I think that's kind of a very narrow view of gifting, because by expecting someone to gift us something, we put our whole value of our whole vision of that person, our whole opinion of that person, we just put it into a materialistic object. And that's so restrictive. It's so constraining just to have such high expectations. And it's basically saying, if you don't buy me something, then you don't deserve my love, or you don't deserve my bond. You don't deserve this relationship. You're not worthy of my friendship if you don't give me something. I mean, maybe that's a bit too far away, but I mean, it's not fair to have such high expectations and to put so much pressure on people's shoulders. Although it's really nice to receive gifts from someone, it's very it's such a euphoric emotion when you get a gift from someone. You're like, wow, that person actually took the time to think about something that would please me, something that I would find joy in. But just in a general way, I think that gifts please our ego. It's like a compliment. When you receive a compliment from someone, it sort of validates something that you weren't sure about. And when you have some insecurities, well then, when you receive these gifts or these compliments, you will have a feeling of validation that you were seeking. So that's why I'm asking, when you buy a gift, ask yourself why you're buying this gift. Are you buying this gift for the person you're giving it to, or are you getting this gift indirectly to show you that you are a good person, for example? So do we necessarily have to buy gifts? I think that generally the gift that people would appreciate the most is simply your time. Just taking the time, to be around people and showing interest into their lives, showing curiosity about people's talents and people's needs and people's fears, just like getting to know them and showing that you are you're caring about them, you're caring about whether they have found a vocation in life, or if you care about the relationships they have in life, if you care about their diet and how they take care of their own body, just by asking questions and taking that time to connect with people. I think that's one of the best gifts you can give to someone. Also, when I think about spending time as a gift, and that's something you could do just all year long, not even just for Christmas. You can spend time as a gift in charities. You can help people. You can help people on the street just by giving an apple to someone on the street, or spending time with someone who sleeps on the street, and just talk to that person. Show them that you see them, that they're here, and that they're not being forgotten. You saw them, and you take your time. You gift them your time by being present and talking with them. But I think ultimately the best gift you can make is something that you will do with mindfulness and meaningfulness. So when you take that time to step back and think, like, what do people actually really need? What do people need from me that I could give them? What is something I could give people to bring them a sense of fulfillment? What is something that I can do that would be valuable for someone else? Just in a general way, people will be very pleased if they see that you've put some time and effort into something, whether it's just giving some time to someone, or if it's making something yourself or buying something. As long as people see that you kind of you took the time to not in a creepy way, but you took the time to pay attention to people. You kind of observed and analyzed what they were missing, maybe some sort of a tool that they would need for their work, for cooking. If you see that someone is kind of that their personality is a bit anxious and they're quite stressed because of their work, well, you could give them some sort of massage or stay in some retreat center or something like this. You don't have to spend like your whole budget in this, but just take the time to spot people's needs and what would bring value in their life for Christmas or just all year long. And if I would just sum this up in one sentence, I would just say my point of view now is gift people moments and not things. You can give them experiences to live instead of things to have. Because the thing with objects, they can have really fulfill a purpose in our lives, but most of the objects we own actually don't fulfill any purpose, because we just hold them back, we just retain them, but we don't actually make a full use of them. So that's why I think there is more value in time giving as in objects giving. So here are a couple of ideas of gifts that you could give for Christmas. that to me embody a minimalistic and meaningful option. So first, if you decide to actually buy something, I would highly recommend to try and find companies that actually represent your values, companies that truly reflect your values. Just like if you intend on buying something, just try to find those companies that are fair trade, ethical, where you know that people are not exploited to make the product you intend on buying. Companies that also use good resources that are not being exploited as well, and that are using raw materials that are eco-friendly. So that's an option. That might be a bit more expensive, but if your fear is about not having the budget, well, there's always an option, and it is buying secondhand. There are just so many websites where you can find products as secondhand. Even like where you live in your city, there are secondhand shops where you can find electronic devices. Just by going on eBay, there's an app called Spock. I will just link everything down below. There's an equivalent for Vinted, which is the French app and website where you can buy secondhand clothes and makeup and just so many things. And there's the equivalent in Germany, which is called Kleiderkreise. But basically, even crafty and nice, eco-friendly products, you can find them secondhand, basically anywhere. So that's the option in case you're on a budget. I think a really good challenge for the Christmas period and gifting is about for you to get crafty, to get to get your hands in the dirt and just like get dirty and like start making something, start crafting and creating something. And my personal experience has proven me that actually the things I made for people were bringing them the most joy, and because the people actually see that you've put so much effort and you've put your whole love and your whole self into that object, into that thing that you made. They can see the time you put in there, and actually by making something, by creating something from scratch, you're actually, you're making something that's coming from the bottom of your heart. That's something that's coming from the bottom of your creative energy. And I think that's something very beautiful, and people will ultimately feel very moved and touched by that gesture. So that could be anything from a beautiful handcrafted box that you made, or a journal that you made and customized for someone. That could be a piece of jewelry. There are just so many things you can make. Another option that you can gift is food. Whether it's on the street to someone who's living on the street, you could give them food for Christmas as well, because not everybody has the same privilege, unfortunately, and it's sad that we have to call this a privilege, because I think living and having access to food and water should not be a privilege for some people. But you can give food also for family and friends. If you don't you can't really really spot what they need as a gift, just give any kind of food. You could buy some good quality chocolate, some good cookies, some that you can also make yourself. People actually really like some kind of flavored salt or flavored sugar. That's something they will be able to use in their everyday cooking. and it will also enable them to discover new spices and new aromas, and I think that's bringing something in their life, that's bringing some sort of value. And the last idea I would give is to gift things that you own but that you're not using anymore. I think that by keeping things, holding back onto things that you don't use anymore, you prevent these objects from fulfilling their purpose, and you prevent the people at the end of the chain, you prevent people from receiving joy from out of the use of these objects. Christmas period could actually be a good opportunity to kind of declutter your room and just like go through the things that you own and take them like one by one and feel them and ask yourself, is this sparking joy in my life? Is this being fully used? Like, am I enjoying using that object? And for that specific goal, I will advise the book The Magic of Tidying Up by Kondo, and I will link that book down below as well. It's taught me so much about minimalism in general. I'm kind of all over the place because like even though I take notes like along the way and through the video, I get more ideas and things I want to say, but I truly hope that this made sense for you. I hope that you will have a nice holiday Christmas period, and I also want to take that time to share with people my feeling about Christmas, that Christmas should embody the values that we have in common, such as love and peace and respect and compassion. And I think that if we truly want to embody these values, we should at least consider not having animals on our plates for that particular event, and not just for Christmas. I think we should just take that time of the year to think more deeply about the privilege that we have as human beings. I think we should take the opportunity of Christmas to reflect upon the fate of others, and in particular on the fate of animals who are being tortured and killed for the purpose of becoming our food. So I invite you to ask yourself questions such as, do we need to kill animals to survive? Is there a moral justification for killing animals and putting them in so much misery? And just as you will be eating your meal for Christmas, and if you decide to have animal products for that meal, just take a step back and look at what's on your plate, and ask yourself if your taste pleasure is actually more valuable than the life that was taken away from a living being to end up on your plate. Ask yourself if what you are actually paying for is aligning with your values. Ask yourself, is there a way to justify the killing of millions of animals for the only purpose of me having a taste pleasure of a couple minutes? And I hope you will reflect upon this, and I still wish you a very nice holiday period, a very nice holiday season, and lots of love.